stage to keep possession alive.
Huge bid, gets the target.
Great opportunity for the Germans, and they break it in.
Throw it the full 80 yards to the field? Are you kidding me?
And an incredible catch.
You are kidding me!
Oh my God!
One of the plays of the year!
Testing, testing. Can you hear us? Okay. Welcome everybody to the 2025 Masters Canadian Ultimate Championships. I'm here. I'm Devon Asamoah here with
Brandon Adibe.
and we're coming at you with the Open Masters 4v5 crossover here. So we have Roadkill out of Saskatchewan, half from Regina, half from Saskatoon, and we also have Greenlight from Ontario. Brandon, how's your day been going?
Pretty good. Got to be on the mic with fellow co-commentator Kim, and then went over and coached at the OJ Cup invite before heading on back.
Yeah, maybe we'll get into that later during some lulls in the game. But just to orient the viewers, Legion has been here. They had a very not Legion. Roadkill has been here. They had a very tough pool play. They had a win over Legion 15-12, but then unfortunate losses to Still and some Elite and Quack. So making them 1-3, and that's how they got here into the lower half for the crossover. Greenlight also hasn't still searching for their first win of the tournament, but they are a group of friends just happy to be here. Cool story how the team came together. One of the captains, Oscar, his wife Jean, she's playing on Toast, and she was like, wow, you're not going to come with me, let me make you a team. And a week later he had a group chat with 22 men committed to play nationals. So what a great partner, and what a great story getting Greenlight, you know, a bunch of friends who played 2-bat together. They were all friends spread around Toronto. And they're here now.
Yeah, super nice to see, like, just making a whole team for someone like you must care about them so deeply and dearly.
No, that's a partner there. All right, so first pull, we have Greenlight in light. That is number 23, Curtis Clark, Clack pulling up. And we have our first look at the Roadkill O-line. Centering to Markham. He's a key handler for this team, working through this 3-3-1 zone, and just a slight miscue there.
Yeah, very early start. Good movement. Throw caught some wind, and this is going to be coming back here.
And I think you're starting to see the teams just getting used to things. They both played 2 pool play games today, so this is their 3rd game of the day. How might you be feeling at this point in the tournament, Brandon?
Yeah, you got to realize that it's been really warm throughout this whole tournament, and now 3rd pool play game in addition to playing yesterday, it really starts to add up.
So this is Quack over here just being very patient. He didn't have a mark on for the first little bit. Now Clack coming through. Clack looking deep, looking for Quack. Is it going to stay in bounds? Just out of the reach. Looking at the flags over there, Brandon, can you tell us a bit about the wind here today?
On your cameras, it's going left to right, so as they pick up, they are going upwind. It's been super swirly today, at times being more of a crosswind, but it's very tough to play on this right side of the field.
So Roadkill handlers just working it through, taking the open passes, being very patient until we see a huck go up there. And just a slight misread from 44 Lahid, and Greenlight on the quick attack. This is Delorme with the disc, working it over to the far side of the field. Being very patient is Ha here. Ha finding Cajado. Back to Ha. Far side of the field. A lot of lateral action here, Brandon. And another huck going up to the captain, Bodzenta. And that is number 8 getting huge for the D. Lewis swatting that away.
So close, yet so far. Almost came down with it. That would have been a real momentum builder right there.
So now I think this is Roadkill's 4th attempt at a hold. Still working it through this zone pretty steadily. McConnell putting another disc up. And we've seen a couple deep strikes go awry on both sides, Brandon. Early timeout on the first point being called here by the Greenlight D-line.
Yeah, what we're seeing right now doesn't even look like execution or decision-based errors, but a lot of fatigue errors, like taking shots that may not be there. But we'll see that this group tries to punch in their This would be a break.
This would be a break to start the game. It's 0-0.
Yeah, it could be a real piece to get started off on the right foot once someone converts.
Yeah, and I think what you're noting is, sometimes when you're tired, you want to end points quickly. What's the fastest way to end a point? Hucking it to the end zone.
It also results in more turns, though, so we'll see if they're a bit more chilly after this timeout.
Taking the time on the timeout here, Brandon, we have two very contrasting jersey styles. We might get into this later, but keep in mind we have Greenlight with the... Is basic the word that we want to use here?
We'll say clean and efficient.
Clean, minimalistic, efficient use of space here versus Roadkill, who wanted to fill the page.
Yeah, definitely two contrasting styles. Very hard to see the names on the Roadkill side, but they were trying their best.
All right, so unusual setup here. You had a 6-man vert stack there to start the play. Brandon, have you seen something like that before?
Yeah, a very classic vert set that we used to see a lot in the Northeast. Teams like Ironside leaving the backfield empty and having your dump be upfield. But here, a disadvantage of it is when it's time for a reset, sometimes they're tough to come by. As you see DeLorme taking a shot because no one was there to bail him out.
Yeah, that was Clack there, just catching the wrong edge. And Greenlight committing to this zone here. Can you break it down for the people at home?
Yeah, so because Roadkill is going upwind here, they are looking to kind of make them throw as many throws as possible. Hope they make a mistake and then capitalize going downwind.
Yeah, and just punching it through. A little wayward throw there, but collected by Lahid nonetheless. Just working it back in the reset space as Greenlight transitions to a person defense. That's Lewis getting open in the reset space. Working it over to Markham. Markham faking the inside flick, taking the safer option. You can see they're a little more possession-oriented here. And working it into the end zone with Lahid. You know, not a clean hold, but it's good to see 1 point on the board to start this game.
Yeah, something basketball players who are shooters say, all you need to do is see that first one go through the net, and then everything else becomes easier. Might be the case in the terms of Roadkill. On their offense, wasn't the cleanest, but they got there eventually, and they're not getting broken the first point, which is always demoralizing.
Yeah, and this is a long game. You got to play to 15 here, even though I think we have 70-minute time slots with a hard cap. Hopefully, things will clean up throughout the match.
Yeah, hopefully, maybe this Greenlight offense will be a bit cleaner than the first point that we saw.
Yeah, and they did note that they had 1 or 2 practices ahead of this tournament. Contrasting to Roadkill, who a lot of them were meeting each other at this tournament. A lot of them having experience on the senior team Rut, also out of Saskatchewan, but still got to introduce yourself to some of your teammates when you see them for the first time in Ottawa.
It's always funny seeing how some teams, they've literally grown up their whole lives with their friends and they're playing with them, and then contrasting on the opposite side, people just shaking hands and getting to know each other's names before.
Yeah. Big pull here from Smith to start. Now Greenlight centering the disc to Ip. Looks like they're running a standard vert stack, and Roadkill setting the zone of their own. So let's see how these Greenlight handlers operate through. You can see not scared to look forward, not only focusing on swinging it side to side like they do here. Working it through, a nice melt call, and that was a toe-in attempt from Fox, and just being called out by the observer there.
Yeah, unfortunate because that was good movement and could have been a nice clean hold.
All right, so this is Captain Beam catching the disc here on the sideline, moving it over to Gazda. Gazda working it around. Seeing Kent take the deep strike. looking for Smith, and that is a layout goal for the first Roadkill break of the game.
Nice to see that they found their way to the high side of the field. It's super easy to be throwing there. Airs it out, and then a nice score, nice catch, and a decent celly to match.
Yeah, and I think that was a clean break, meaning that the Greenlight offense turned it over once, and Roadkill marched it right up the field. That must feel good after seeing your O-line take a few strikes at the hold.
Yeah, seeing a clean break means you get it on the field, give it your all, and then you also get to have a rest immediately instead of the points dragging on, especially in their third game of the day.
And now it looks like the same Roadkill characters are going to go back out. Looks like they want to run up the score to start.
Seems like they've got exactly what they want here from a defensive standpoint. So sending out the same players, try to get the same result.
Do you run the same zone here as well, or do you switch up the D-look early on in the game?
I feel like you got to show them something different, especially since they're now Greenlight is going downwind. You might have a slightly different zone.
All right, big pull up here from Smith. All right, Greenlight centering. It looks like Roadkill going with the match, so see how Greenlight goes. Bozenta here with the disc. Minyeki going up line, making room for Kwok in the backfield.
Big shot
Number
coming up.
31, Ramos taking a big shot to Bozenta. And that's a deep receiver. If you've played in Ontario Ultimate, you've seen him roofing guys on Too Bad, picking up right where he left off in the senior division.
Bozenta, a known end zone specialist, a striker, which you have to respect him, back him at all costs because you know the discs are coming his way, especially going in that downwind direction.
Yeah, you called it, saying they might want to switch the look up with Greenlight going downwind there, and they use the wind to their advantage.
Originally, in that point, they were trying to back their players, but after a few in cuts, a slash, was able to get on the backside of the defender, and at that point, you got to put it up to the big man.
So, Brandon, two D-liners here ourselves in the booth. I know we aspire to get crossover to the O-line. Doesn't always happen depending on the team we're playing on. But how many looks at an O-line do you feel you need to have before you kind of get a rhythm and get used to your matchups, know what to take away? How long does that take within a match?
I feel like at that third point in the match, or third offensive point, you should be starting to see things develop, see some tendencies that you can exploit, and kind of an overall flow for the offense. So first 3 points are usually when you're able to test it out and see.
All right, we'll see if these defensives start adjusting, and maybe the O-line clean it up. Roadkill didn't have the cleanest hold, but they get a second chance over here. All right, the face in a zone here, and a high release flick goes awry. Some contact, but number 3, Bochin, coming with the disc. Chu over here. Hitting the around backhand to Lee. Lee and Chu just working it. Slowly but surely coming up the field. And Chu just putting it too long out of the reach of number 64, Now Roadkill getting their second chance, but they're going downwind against this Greenlight zone.
Looking to trap here on the sideline, make it as tough as possible to get out of it.
Imhoff hitting a nice around throw here through the zone. Finding Markham. Markham faking off some options. Imhoff just looks like he came up a little limpy, but Lewis over here with the far side. Back to Goo. This Greenlight zone giving them a lot of room to work in the backfield.
Definitely a lot of room in the backfield for these handlers. Able to swing it side to side, and they're gaining on each swing.
Couple high release flicks we've seen on this point, Brandon. Looks like they're playing with fire here. But Lahid working with Imhoff here. We hear the melt call from Greenlight. melting, and we see a nice OI flick here, and that's Lahid reeling it in. Imhoff to Lahid for Roadkill's 3rd point of the game.
They did a really good job of working it up, being patient, and getting it off that trap sideline through the zone, swinging it, gaining yards, dump swinging it even more, and taking that chance in the end zone, but well-positioned body-wise to stop the incoming defender.
Yeah, I have to say, Brandon, after the first point of the game, I was a little worried. We saw a lot of turnovers, but it seems like both sides have calmed the nerves. Maybe they haven't been on stream in a while, and it looks like they've really cleaned up both offense and defense.
Yeah, definitely taking some steps to clean up the game and be a bit more efficient with their own line and on the turn. They want to get this game done as quickly as possible. As we see some people doing the wave in the far end zone.
Yes, Alternate Canada throwing our own little lounge party. I think Hawaiian themed. You know, everyone's wearing the tropical shirts. Oh, flamingo themed. Yes, I'm being told by a producer, Kat. And it looks like they want to get to the party. But first, they got to get to 15 first, or at least survive the 70-minute heat. So that's number 31, Ramos, picking it up for Greenlight. Over to Bozenta, working it right over to Fox here. Fox with a big backhand around. And wow, how easy can that offense be when you have a cutter like Cope to get open in the end zone?
Definitely playing on that high side. Everything is flowing from there. Defenses are going to need to adjust and get that just off that sideline if they want to be able to have a chance at making plays on D.
Definitely want a chance here. Roadkill feeling comfortable, though. They are up a break. They have the only break in the game. O-line just had a clean hold. I know it's 3-2, but it's looking good for the dudes from Saskatchewan.
It is looking good, but anything can happen early on in this game, and especially looking slightly ahead to whoever gets that first 4 points, we will be still having a heat timeout. So interesting to see how they play it in terms of line calling and tactic.
All right, big pull coming up here from Greenlight. Did it stay in bounds? I think it did. Markham rushing over to swing that disc, centering the disc over here to Lewis. Smith with a nice throw through the cup. Have that strong continuation cut from Yarton. Just working it through the field, making this Greenlight cup move a lot. And just finding all the space, all the holes through the zone. Smith looking for his options. Getting it to Hunter and back over. Calling that double team. Hitting a nice OI flick, and it was tipped a little bit, but that's number 7, Yarton, catching the goal.
Yeah, the two downfield cutters splitting that last back in the zone, and it was very difficult to cover both of them. Almost made up all the ground, but it was not to be.
Oh, and we have a heat break here. I don't know what the temperature is, but at a specific temperature, maybe 30 degrees, they implement heat breaks where you take an extra 1 minute timeout at the first team to hit 4 points and the first team to hit 12 points. And obviously you're going to take a timeout at halftime, which is usually at 8 points. I know Brandon got the heat break timeouts mixed up yesterday, but I'm not going to lie to you here in the stream today. I'm dialed.
At no point did that ever happen. That is false news.
Brandon, I'm a lot of things, but not a liar. So,
not too sure about that, Devon.
Now with the tournament like this, we also want to let you know there are 2 other open quarterfinals going on in the upper bracket. You're gonna have that Circus from Halifax, or mostly out of Halifax. I know they have some people from Newfoundland and Toronto coming in, and facing off against Quack from Quebec City, who you saw on stream yesterday, beating Legion pretty handily. And then on the other side, you're going to have Carbon out of Alberta versing Ensom Elite out of Montreal. Any predictions for yourself there, Brandon?
as much as I would like to make a prediction, I'm going to stay neutral and just say I hope everyone has a fun time.
Let's go both teams. All right, Greenlight getting another shot on O here after this heat break. Down a break, but like you said, both teams are cleaned up, looking a little more confident, so I'm sure they will make this competitive down the stretch. Waiting for the pull. Eat any good snacks lately, Brandon?
Oh, I have one of my tournament favorites, which is dried mango, so those have been pretty clutch.
Love some mango. I recently got some juice-filled Welch's from Costco, and that's been the addiction of the summer.
Those are mint.
Have to have a Costco membership, but it's very worth it.
You got a Costco Black Card?
Actually, I do. Shout out to CIBC. Probably not the best for my credit, but does what it needs to do.
You do what you got to.
Oh. All right, back to the game. This is Ramos with the disc here. I think a false start after the violation called. Nice little count in Bozenta. Usually seen downfield, but he can handle the disc, just a little lefty. If resetting it around to Bochin. Now back to Ramos. Ramos, Bozenta, Bochin getting a lot of the touches on this point. Nice around to Bochin. Looks like he has several options backfield, but Bozenta with a lot of pressure over there from the Roadkill defender. Greenlight just outside of the end zone here. Delorme looking for his options. And a goal being scored, hitting the open Acton in the end zone.
Definitely a nice bit of flow, and in the end zone they were working around that handler space until they found something at the front cone. Seeing a lot of yards being churned by Bozenta.
Definitely. I think after that deep strike, they're a little scared of him going deep again, so which means you got to back him. And what happens when you're getting backed? You get easier unders.
Take what the defense is giving you and make the most of it. Credit to him.
All right, Brandon, let's get your honest opinions. These Roadkill Darks, how you feeling?
I am not a fan personally. The turquoise neck split with the red, and then the red trim with the turquoise. If you're colorblind, they might be the same color. I don't know, but I don't think they're an ideal colorway for an ultimate team.
But they are unique. One of the Roadkill guys asked me if he wanted to trade for the media shirt, and I didn't say no off the start. So I'm going to think about it.
Even if that sounds like they're trying to get rid of their jerseys to me, but
you have to respect the trade game. They did say they'd be open to trade. They also have a fan store that they wanted to shout out. So if you want to go on, I don't know if they have a Roadkill Instagram, but I do know Imhoff hucking it deep over there. I think that was number 88, Goo, with the layout attempt. One of the first turns in a while.
yeah, we've seen it clean up, but first turn was honestly a pretty good look. Just the execution taking that disc a bit too far.
All right, Greenlight with a chance to get their break back. They haven't had a chance in a while. That's number 9, Lee, getting it off the line, working it over to Sobieszak. Back to Sobieszak. Pick being called. Looks like Tang wide open on the far side, and they're going to look to hit him. Just a slight miscue there, Sobieszak looking for his teammate Trong. Roadkill with another chance. Imhoff with the immediate huck to number 44, Lahid.
Roadkill getting it on the second time of asking. Bit safer of a pass. Connecting in the end zone for another hole.
You definitely see they're falling into patterns. People like picking up the disc. People like shooting to specific cutters. They may have met each other this weekend for some of them, but definitely some chemistry formed after 5 games. Or 4 games, this is their 5th.
They're looking like a well-oiled machine at this point. Like, they found some pockets of good chemistry, and they're definitely working through it and working with those people who know how to play with each other.
Yeah, and Brandon, this team coming from 2 cities in Saskatchewan. Can you guess which 2 cities are combining to form Roadkill?
First one, gotta go with the tried and true Regina.
Yes.
And we'll go with number 2, Saskatoon.
Saskatoon and Regina forming. Is Regina the capital out there? I think so.
I would believe so.
Or it could be Saskatoon. I'm sorry if you're from Saskatchewan listening. Maybe tell us in the chat. I hope. It could be either.
I kind of just block out Saskatchewan because I could never fit it in when I was writing it on the map, so.
Saskatchewan, a rasher there. What's not being erased is Bozenta's deep game here, but huge swat away from Kent, a monster in the deep space right now. I think those are the Cora girls cheering them on. And Kent coming right back after getting that deep, picking up the disc and bringing the disc in. A lot of adrenaline might be bumping there.
The fans are loving it. The Cora sideline really helping out their friends.
Beam with a nice inside to Smith. Smith looking deep, but calling the stack, causing play to stop. Cajado with the stall count bringing us in. Beam with the nice toes here to keep it in bounds. And he's looking deep, looking at that matchup again. And Kent reeling it in, getting that bookends, getting the D on Bozenta on one end and beating Bozenta deep on the other to give Roadkill another break here in this first half.
Seems like that energy given from the Cora sideline really coming back to play for the Roadkill team. They are super amped as they're heading to the sideline.
And thank you, YouTube chat. Regina is the capital. You know, my geography held up. We know our stuff here in the booth. Brandon might not know ball as much as I do for Canadian geography, but I got you guys. No forgetting you in this map exercise.
Hey, give me any other province or territory. I got you.
What's the capital of Ontario, Brandon?
Capital of Ontario is Toronto.
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 The 6.
I think I'm scared to quiz you because I'm scared to get things wrong myself.
What is the capital of the Northwest Territories?
Hey, Yellowknife? Or Whitehorse? I forget. No, Whitehorse is Yukon? Guys, I'm not this ditzy. I just haven't. I'm not this ditzy, people. I just haven't thought about this in a while. Back to the game. Poor pull fielding from Greenlight, causing the disc to roll out the back. So, by the rules of Ultimate, they get to bring it up to the front of the end zone. However, contrasting other forms of Ultimate, you'd have to take it from the back, and that's really, really hard because you don't have any negative space to reset with. But glad they have their entire end zone to work with if they need a dump and swing.
And they're doing well here, setting a zone from that front of the end zone, making it tough to throw as many passes as possible forward.
Yeah. Quack just here on the end zone. A stiff cup here from Roadkill, but hitting the high release backhand. Looks like they're staying trapped on this sideline. Roadkill content to keep them there. Baking off the Scoober. Never mind, the Scoober did go up. And swatted away by the Roadkill defender, Priestley. Quick pickup here from Beam, working with Gazda to get it up the field. Gazda and Priestley going 1-2 here in the end zone. Beam here, about 10 yards out, but a pick being called and being sent back. Davidovich just strangely open there outside the end zone.
Yeah, cut through the stack and then to the open side. Not gonna work if you're a defender.
All right, Roadkill with the quick upline, quick restart. Gazza finding Beam in the backfield. And a nice layout deep by number 36, Arthur Chu. Getting the disc back for Greenlight.
Yeah, that was amazing display of handler reset defense. Very quick laterally.
So Bochin working it over to McLaughlin, but McLaughlin not finding his target here. Roadkill with a quick pickup. Smith over to Beam. Giving that give and go action. Looking for unders here. Breaking the mark to Beam and opting not to reverse the field. Just keeping the disc here on the low side. And Beam with that speed. Just outside the end zone. And calling a timeout. Brandon, I know timeouts on the end zone line are a pretty heated discussion sometimes. In this particular scenario with Beam getting the disc, couple stalls, looked upfield, didn't see anything, calling a timeout. What are your thoughts there?
In this scenario, it seems like they didn't have many options and didn't want to force something. And you have 2 timeouts. I guess why not use it? But you're trapped in a tough place here on the low side of the field. So I can understand why they would have called it.
Yeah, you know, you'd love to fall back into your reset systems, maybe hit a dump and swing, but there's a lot of adrenaline, a lot of excitement when you get out of the end zone, so you're not always thinking about that.
It's always exciting being on stream. You're at Nationals. Your friends and family are tuning in, as y'all are in the comment box below.
So now let's see how Roadkill opts to set up their end zone. They're looking like they have one reset and a diagonal stack, just offset more to the break side. Beam's going to pick up the disc, probably coming in at stall 3 or 4. That's going to be Fox on the mark here, so we'll see what their initiation play calls for. Now Beam with the around backhand here in the hands of Davidovich. And that is number 6, Hunter, Darren Hunter, getting the score. So a roadkill break leaves it to be 7-2, 7-3 now, approaching halftime.
They did a good job getting it off that sideline after the timeout. Didn't swing it all the way, but there was just so many options in the middle. Why not take it? And here, Roadkill looking to take half with another break, sending out another strong D-line as Greenlight is kind of looking for something to get their momentum back here.
Yeah, and we see their deep target Bozenta not on the field. A huck would be a nice thing to get them back in the game. I know Clark's thrown a few deep, hasn't always connected, but maybe they'll draw something up here to get the momentum back up here.
I think they're definitely cooking up something with the line they're throwing out here, especially without their big receiver, as you were saying.
Yeah, it looks like they're working in like 2 pods for the line call rather than a traditional O&D line. But we'll come in up here, centered over to Lee.
It's met with the zone.
A lot of zone here at the end of the day, more than we've seen in other games of the day. Any reason why?
Might be to save some legs on defense. Only a certain amount of people are running hard in the zone, while the majority of your team's getting a break. So that might be the reason.
And you can see some passes getting pressured here, but most just open swings. This is Acton over here. Okay. It looks like Sobieshak got away with one getting bailed out here by Lee. Lee with a nice flick over here to Cope. And that's a green light holds. They're not going away just yet.
Good zone movement. Nice throw choices. A little spicy over the top to open it up before they converted with a nice pass to the front of that end zone. And we see a few people still crossing over to D-line from that O-line that just held.
Yeah, you know, it's might be the last point to half. Last game of the day. No need to save the legs. You can just power line as much as you want. Kind of whoever has the energy here at the end of the day.
Yeah. You got so much time once you're out at your hotel, your Airbnbs, the what have yous. So why not throw caution to the wind here? Try to take half, even from being in a losing position.
Yeah, and speaking about after the game, I was sitting out all day, but I did hit a hotel gym workout. Ooh. I had some energy left, did a little full body split, and felt good. Also hung out in the pool with some Dead Circus people who are staying in the same hotel complex as me. So I saw both sides of it, chill and also some physical activity.
Were they taking care of their bodies on this first day?
I think in Masters, you got to take care of your body. Oh, no. Pull going awry. Now we have Lewis chasing down the pull again, but getting the disc to Markham nonetheless. A match from Greenlight here, looking to put on some more pressure. Nice switch there in the middle. But Imhoff finding McConnell. And a nice huck there from Lewis, I believe. And that is Goo with a nice reception, and that's going to take us to halftime. All right, folks, stay tuned. We're going to have Gene, the original creator of Greenlight, and then I believe Shane Markham, going to come in for the halftime interview. So stay tuned for that. Okay, I'm over here with Roadkill Matthew Stevens. 8-4 lead going into halftime. How are you feeling?
It's hot, it's sweaty, but we're loving every second of it. And we're starting to gel as a team, I feel like, and it's feeling amazing.
Only took 5 games, but now you're finding your flow.
Exactly. It's 4 more, and we'll feel awesome about it. You know?
So there was some confusion on the commentary booth. Not going to name who, but some people didn't know the capital of Saskatchewan, believe it or not. Can you just educate the people just in case with their Eastern Canada bias?
All right. I mean, I know we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's hard to know all this stuff, but Regina, we're kind of in the middle of everything. Not really a big deal, but we like to think so. Yeah.
Regina, the capital city, letting Brandon know, letting all the Ontario people know. You want to just run through Canadian capitals if you can?
Oh, my goodness. Not really.
Not really. Honestly, good man. Now, you do have some games tomorrow, but are we going to look to the festivities in the Flamingo Lounge after?
Absolutely. I mean, we would be really silly not to be honest.
Really silly not to. Okay.
we hear the vibes all day. The music is pumping. It would be a shame.
DJ Brad's going. Okay. Yeah. Anything to say to the people in Saskatchewan back home?
It's great out here. We love all you guys, and we'll see you soon.
Okay. Take care. Thank you. All right, I'm with Jean. You want to say your last name for the people?
Bodzetta Ramos. I hyphenated it with my husband. It's fine. It's fine.
And I heard you're the creator of Greenlight here, pulling double duty,
Yes.
playing on Toast in the
Yes.
Masters Women's Division, and also coordinating a whole open team? How did that come about?
Oh, well, I was playing with Toast and I had a team, so I figure, my husband should play as well. Why not? And then, so yeah, we just gathered a bunch of great guys with great vibes, and yeah, here we go. Green light all the way.
Greenlight, can we call this an anniversary present, a birthday present, just goodwill for the
Just
partner?
goodwill. It's just goodwill. This anniversary is like long ago, so yeah, it's just, I just want to have fun with my husband. He wants a team, I want a team, so it's all good.
Okay, now they're down in the second half.
Yes.
What are the vibes on the sideline? What do you think about your husband in particular? What's going on over there?
You know what? I think they're just missing like that last bit at the end zone, so I think they have it. I know it. Like, they'll get into the flow of things, and it'll be all good.
Big comeback, first
Yes.
one of the tournament.
Yes.
Do you have anything to say to the people back home?
Hi, everyone. Make sure you're watching and cheering for Greenlight. And yeah,
Who's this over here?
name's Zoe.
He's Zoe.
One
Zoe
of
got
our
a cheer for
players.
Greenlight.
Yeah, one of our players' daughters. Dawn, right? Hi.
All right, we'll see you TC 2045, okay? Yes.
Deal.
All
Deal.
right, take care.
Perfect.
Good luck
Thank
in the
you.
second half.
Go baseball.
All right, later, Zoe. Thank you so much. Welcome back. We have second half action here in the Masters Open 4 versus 5 crossover. So these are two teams that Roadkill came fourth in Pool B. Yeah, Pool B. Greenlight 0-4 in Pool A. And Roadkill getting us started up 8-4, looking to continue the trend. As you heard Jean say, she thinks Greenlight's going to figure it out and they're going to put up some points in this second half.
Yeah, very wise words from. Can you call her the owner of the team? Like,
I'm
she
going to
set
call
it
her the
up.
general manager. She put it together. She recruited in the group chat. That's exactly what Masai Ujiri was doing for the Raptors. So sad to see him go.
Definitely a sad moment not seeing him with the Raptors after the championship he brought to the nation of Canada.
I'm happy you said it like that. The whole of Canada was cheering for that team in 2019.
Hey, we the North.
Yeah, just like the North is probably cheering for Greenlight here in the second half, working it swiftly through this roadkill zone, unfortunately throwing it into the poach, and that is, we'll get his name because he really had to elevate for that score, but over here we have Smith looking to counterattack real quick. So Smith working with the other Smith, Greg and Mark with the same last name. Big Huck over here looking for 23. Matthew Stevens, who we just had on the interview. He has a nice bucket hat, and he's not wearing his bucket hat to play, but I think a foul called uncontested. So Stevens will get the disc here on the front line, making the observers go to pick him up. Stevens didn't opposite go for that disc. The legs are going.
Definitely getting to that point, but we do enjoy the good show of spirit here. Nice discussion. Accepted foul.
Accepted foul. Just checking in with everybody, making sure they're ready. It looks like Bozenta's going to drop off to catch someone else in the end zone. Someone else closer to set the mark. And Stevens with a quick flip to Mark Smith. And Roadkill starting off right where they left off. A break to start the second half.
Hey, breaks win games, and what's that? 9 points for the Roadkill squad.
They're really making the people in Regina and Saskatoon, all over the province of Saskatchewan, very happy.
Yeah, whether it's in the capital or not, people of Saskatchewan must be enjoying this one.
Are people going to think I'm silly for not knowing that?
No.
Yeah, right? It will be okay. Like, I think Edmonton's the capital of Alberta.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, guys, I know things, people. I know things. I promise.
You have to realize, like, that stuff you learn in school, like, and we're not talking university. You even did postgraduate studies. Like, you're doing it all. So
I did. I tried. For the people at home, he's referring to my master's in applied sports psychology.
Hey, let him know.
From our University of Ottawa here in our nation's capital.
Talk to him.
Brandon also went to another establishment in this city.
Yeah, Carleton University, the better school for Ottawa, but that's a different discussion.
Let's look at the CUCM results in the last 5 years and talk about who's the better school.
Hey, who has the most championships out of the two?
I honestly don't know.
Carleton.
Maybe. I don't know.
Resident fact checkers, we will be in contact.
I don't know. Hasn't Ottawa medaled at the past like 3 or 4 open ones? And then didn't they win double gold at the last ones? I think it's a Frisbee school. Oh, and the Greenlight cutter streaking deep, but number 90, Ledzema, couldn't hit him. But it's okay. They reversed the field, working it through each other, and hitting a nice inside flick with the walk off. That's how you get it done after getting broken.
Huge. Way to get her right back. I love the walk-off celly, too. Like, is that Steph Curry? I can't tell. My glasses aren't on, but it looks like something he'd do.
Steph Curry, David Ip, same soul. All right. 9-5. What does Greenlight have to do to get this? They're going to have to go on multiple break runs if they want to catch up. And it looks like the time to do it is right now before Roadkill gets into the double digits.
Ain't no time like the present. They seem to be putting out a pretty strong squad. Some people we haven't seen too often are also going to the line. So trying to get some fresh legs injected into this defense.
Just organizing, calling matchups. It looks like they're probably going to go person, opting not for a zone, but I could be mistaken. It's just whenever people are pointing, saying you have this, you have that, usually indicates a person defense. Also, Jersey Talk, we see some people on Roadkill opting for the tank top over the just t-shirt. You have any thoughts on that, Brandon?
Probably a smart decision, thinking about the Ottawa humidity and what they've been playing in all weekend.
Roadkill wanted to give Greenlight a sniff of that, but Lewis shutting it down. Markham putting up the huck, and big number 87 McConnell comes down with the grab.
Raising the roof, getting up there for the score.
You gotta love the playmaking here at the end of the hot day at CUCM Masters here in Ottawa, Ontario.
Ottawa's cooling off, but this Roadkill squad is not. Definitely a nice shot, raising the roof with that one.
Undeterred, I think a lot of the same Greenlight suspects from that previous hold are back onto the field. Maybe this is the groove Gene is coming from. They found some people they like to play with on offense, and looks like they're getting efficient on this Greenlight O-line.
They seem to be a group that works really well together, so why break that up? You can have other people rotate in through D-line with fresh legs, but You have to find that one unit that can consistently hold if they're going to get back into this game.
Yeah, I think down 10-5, you definitely don't want to be worried about if your O-line's going to hold, and you have to start thinking about how you can stack that D-line to get you to the finish. Also on the other stream, it looks like just finishing off 15-7 and some Prime, the second team out of Montreal, taking it over at Legion from Newfoundland. We saw Legion facing off against another Quebec team in Quebec yesterday on the stream, unfortunately falling on that occasion as well. But Legion actually put up a good game against this Roadkill squad, only losing 15-12, which turned a lot of heads in this program. So, Bozenta faking off, looking through his options. That's Kwok here right off the front. Ip, just outside the end zone again. Hitting his around shot over to number 58, Fox. And Fox trusting his receiver. That is, I want to say Letsema. That is the Greenlight player. Gotta see his number. Coming down with the score there.
Definitely a nice cut to that front cone, using their body well to protect.
That might be Ramos or Chu. I see a 3.
They did well.
They did well.
They did well. And that's all you can ask.
You know, for the past couple of years, I've just woken up every day and said, I'm trying to do my best.
And me personally, I wake up and I just eat some cereal. But that's...
You know what I don't wake up and do? Eat oatmeal.
Oh, we
Haven't
reopen it?
Haven't even attempted with that cuisine in the past. I think grade 5 might have been the last time I ate oatmeal. For
Man,
real, for real.
Some people,
And I'm
they
better off.
swear by oatmeal being the best food in the world.
I think oatmeal is like, I could see it from like the caloric standpoint, and I don't know if it gives you protein or something, but it doesn't taste good. No one's, I'm not going to fall for that propaganda. No one's ever going to say they look forward to eating oatmeal.
I mean, there's some things that can make your oatmeal nice. It has some fiber, it has some protein, but it's not beating a Cinnamon Toast Crunch. No sponsor.
You know, yeah. You said it best. That's a top tier cereal. Okay. Roadkill, number 87, McConnell, looking for Markham deep, turning it over, and Greenlight wasting no time, not even bringing it up to the front line, getting that disc in so fast. The run through D there by Lewis, hitting the give and go to Markham and getting it back in the end zone, not letting Greenlight get a break here in the second half. That is Roadkill up 11-6.
And that is double happiness. That means you get the D, convert on the score, or if you're from America, bookends. But double happiness, making all the fans in the stands super happy.
Sorry, that was Jay Ramos who scored the last goal for Greenlight here. Opting to take this O point off. Seeing some fireworks come out here in the second half, eh, Brandon?
Yeah, we're seeing everything. Some run-through Ds. Some people aren't tired just yet. They got more in the tank. And it looks like they're going to be showing us more as this game goes on.
All right, Brandon, advise me. Never been to Saskatchewan. Should I just make the trade?
Take the train?
Should I make the trade
Make the trade.
for the jerseys? I don't know how often I'm going to make this. I don't know how often I'm going to wear this media shirt.
So for the people at home, we have some really nice media shirts. They're a nice, I'd say indigo base with media in white down the
Oh, you
middle.
popped off with that.
Ultimate Canada is really taking care of us volunteers, so I don't think it would be a good trade.
All right, we'll see. We'll see. Just like Cope is seeing over here, never mind opting to reset the disc to Minyeki. Looks like there's a stoppage. Coming in on one, though. Davidovich tapping it in. A nice OI flick here to Cope, having all the time to run it down. And then Cope. That was a very quick down. But from I think that's 68 Acton there, beating his defender to the front cone. Yep. Greenlight back. Greenlight back on the board. 11-7. One thing they've been doing is holding pretty consistently now, but not putting too much pressure on this Roadkill O-line enough to cause turns and punch in a break of their own.
Going to have to find a way if they are going to get back in this game. And we're noticing some more people getting crossed into this D-line, people filtering in. I think their answer right now is just fresh legs, sending caution to the wind, and hopefully being able to grind out a D point and then get a turn.
Yeah, I can't say I've played in the Masters Division before. I'll be there in maybe 7 more years, a few more extra years for Brandon, but I'm sure the legs at this point in the tournament might not be doing too hot, so it really might be whoever wants to play at this point. And a nice, great pull there. I think that's number 7, Sobiashak. But Roadkill getting the disc center too regardless. Lewis looking through his looks, hitting this around. But that is Bozenta coming through with a run through Dion McConnell. A quick pickup from Lee. This is the energy they need to get back into the game. Steps outside the end zone. Looking around. Finding Letsema. Letsema to Bozenta just outside the end zone. Looking for options. Finding an open option. It looks like some Roadkill poaches in the end zone. But that is Kwok beating his defender to the front cone with the first green light break of the second half. Breathing some life into their chances to get their first win of the tournament here.
Yeah, there's the legs you were talking about. Really pushing the envelope. We got some people staying on the line as well. So, going to try to double up on the breaks here. Roadkill seems to be in good spirits, but definitely something to think about going forward. As Roadkill is starting to send out their 7 players to the line.
Yeah, Roadkill's definitely not on the ropes by any means after one break, but hey, if you want to make a comeback, it does start with one break at a time, right?
Oh. Unlike in baseball where you can score multiple runs or points at a time, Ultimate's kind of different in the sense that you can get momentum and get one break or score at a time, but it takes a while to catch up.
Yeah, I don't watch too much baseball, Brandon. I'm not going to lie. I do know the Blue Jays are doing well this year. I watched a bit in their playoff run, like 2015, 2016, when they were like really, really good. Bit of a bandwagoner there, but not the most entertaining sport.
Hey,
I kind of
this
just
is
watch
the year to
Frisbee.
bandwagon again. They have the best record in the whole league, so.
Wow. Through the NL East West, AL East West?
AL East.
Wow. I love that for them. Go Blue Jays. All right, Markham getting the quick upline. Baking off the deep strike here. A round flick popping up, giving Clack a chance. Clack and McLaughlin working forward. Now just slowing down here as it gets to Cope. Clack with a push pass back to Cope. And a pick being called. I think they needed to slow down there, right, Brandon?
Yeah, at that point, like, moving the disc quickly and then a push pass of all passes. But gotta simmer down a bit.
McLaughlin finding DeLorme. Looking deep for Bozenta, and now 2 breaks in a row. This game's getting a little more interesting. 11-9. With Roadkill looking to call a timeout potentially. No, we have players just heading back to the line. I think they're going to get a fresh set of legs. Maybe some fresh decisions to be made as well, Brandon.
Mm-hmm. I like the throw choice on that score. A lot of trust. Bozenta took 1 step deep, and that was enough from his handler to say, yeah, I'm putting this up. I'm trusting you. And 2 breaks in a row.
Causing Roadkill
finally taking that
Yeah,
timeout.
Roadkill calling that timeout. Probably just to settle. They're not worried. They're up a couple breaks still. It's just that it looks like Greenlight's finding their legs. Coach Jean, GM Jean, owner Jean, CEO Jean, I don't know what you want to call her, but she prophesized this a little bit.
She definitely knows the team well, being there from the start. and its inception, she definitely knows something we don't about that Greenlight team.
Yeah, speaking of things people don't know a lot about, many of you might not have known there was an OJ Cup invite hosted this weekend at the Ottawa Junior Competitive Ultimate Program. Brandon, can you tell us more about how that went for overall, but specifically you and your team?
Yeah, so currently Saturday and Sunday there are games being played at Ben Franklin, which is in basically central Ottawa, a bit in the west. You have a lot of juniors team ramping up for CJUCs, which is in August. So you have the likes of Ignite, Chain Reaction. You got Origine and Titan coming from various places in Quebec. Seams, Frignac. You got Uproar from Toronto representing, and a few others. But I am coaching Scorch and just had the pleasure of on the double bye going to go coach the Scorch team, and they beat Uproar, which was a bit of revenge after their game at regionals where Uproar won and secured a bid from Ontario.
Yes, unfortunately, Scorch, the second team out of that OJ Cup program, not qualifying for nationals for the first time in probably a long time. I think, was an offside called? What happened there?
There was an offside call, but because they caught it, that means play would continue. So if an offside is called, you have to let it drop.
You do have to let it drop, and then you'd be able to get it to the brick mark, but that's okay. Markham working it over to Stevens here. And a foul called on the mark, just not liking that bump in the contact. So, Roadkill in a bit of a spread out offense here. Stevens going to have to look through his looks, hitting Markham in the backfield. Oh. On the pivot, the ankle's just going there. It's okay. Lewis hitting it back to Markham. Looking off a lot of unders here. Tired legs might not be getting as much separation as they're used to. Markham with a nice inside shot to Goo. Goo working it over to Stevens. And Stevens to Lahi here, putting Roadkill right back on the board, up 12-9.
Roadkill stays in the game, stays on top, gets a bit more of a cushion after this hold. And now is their chance to go and get one of those breaks back.
But it's also Greenlight calling the timeout. You do get two per half. Might as well save it. Heat timeout because we're at 12 points and it's over 30 degrees. I don't know. It doesn't feel that hot in the booth here.
C'est tellement chaud dehors, man. In this booth, not as hot. So that's totally understandable.
Yes, we're being we're being pampered here by Ultimate Canada. They got a shade tent. We're getting some Gatorade. I'm surprised Kat doesn't have a personal fan. She gives the vibe that she might have one of those. Oh, she has one at home.
She's got it on lock.
Yeah, she just didn't bring it out here. It wasn't serious. Serious enough for Ultimate Canada to insinuate a heat break, but not hot enough for Kat to bring out the personal fan. All right. And honestly, this probably plays into Greenlight's hands because they crossed over a lot of people for that D-line, and now the D-line got to rest.
Yeah, definitely might have been part of their plans. Like, throw as many people on that D-line as possible until you get to that 12-point margin, and then you know you're going to get a break. Break in the sense, break off the field.
Yes, rest.
Rest.
As a synonym for that.
So, Devon, you were talking quite highly of the Roadkill jersey, but what is your favorite jersey you've seen here
Did I
at
say
Nationals?
that? Sorry, Roadkill, no disrespect. I don't think your jersey's bad, or as bad as some people make it out to seem. I just don't think I was on the love train, but I'm still considering the trade, Mr. Rob Beam over here. But some good jerseys, I don't know, a lot of Masters teams go the minimalist route. I love Roadkill's attempt at some character. I'll tell you something, more things I don't like, because it's easier to point those out. Still shorts. Way too long. Way too long. Some of those guys, you couldn't even see their knees. I was shocked. They brought out the 11-inch seam, probably.
That has to be Matthew Berg, guaranteed.
Hogel, you're not innocent either. But yeah, many of them opting for the long shorts. See, Roadkill here, nice and respectful. You're seeing some knees out here. You're seeing some quad. You're seeing some thigh action. Not a lot of -2, but they're doing what they need to do.
Love a good -2 from our sponsor, BE Ultimate.
Oh, Bozenta with the nice around to Clack. And I guess called not in by the observer. Still inbounds. And Clack throwing it all the way around. And a foul
With no contest.
with no contest.
Love the hand signals, making it easy for the people at home and us in the booth to know what was called on the field.
So it looks like Cope is going to get the disc just outside of the end zone. Cope tapping it in. And finding number 27, Christensen, at the front cone. Greenlight staying in it. Getting to double digits of their own now, 12-10. Making the game a little more interesting.
Greenlight not going away here. It's really nice to see they're staying with it. Even in this third game of the day, legs are probably going at this point. The mental is probably a bit tougher, but they're still out here throwing people in and getting break chances.
Yeah, do you think Bozenta's going to leave the field in this twilight of the game?
Nah, but I know he's going to get some Gatorade in between points though, and then keep it going. Seems like a real force and a leader for this team.
Definitely leading this team. Roadkill now. They really got to look to have a clean hold at that. They don't want to let Greenlight even sniff a 1-goal game here. 'Cause I think that's where things can get dicey.
Yeah, if it gets to that point, you know, at that point, the stress is going to set in a little bit. Like, it's all well and good when you're up, you got a cushion, but the game gets different when it's only 1 point difference.
So I looked over this team's jerseys just because we've seen it for a few years, but Stello, the master team out of the women's master team out of Ottawa, they have some nice jerseys. I like their lights in particular.
They do have nice jerseys, and winning every year when you are at Masters definitely helps the stock of your jersey.
Yeah, that was Markham forcing Sobieszak to go to ground, dropping it off to dropping it off to Gu. Now Stevens here, just inside Lahid. I think a pick being called on Lahid, and number 3 Bochin, trying to make the case that the disc should go back. But you see Lewis out here making a case why the disc should stay there. Brandon, try to listen in. Observers are not mic'd up here. But Brandon, what's the T?
So currently, T for the game, my bad, sorry. Boshin is saying they had no line to the disc because of how the offensive player cut. And now going to the observer saying he didn't, observer ruling it is a pick because he saw where the person was stopped. So the disc will return.
I don't want to say it. I also thought it was a pick. But I love that they make their case. All right, coming in on 5.
And a violation called.
So violation being called because it looks like Markham in the backfield started before the disc was tapped in from Ha. So the disc going back to Lewis.
We going to run it back.
I think we're going to come back in on 5. Just letting that break off back to Markham. Okay, now Roadkill flipping the field over here. That's a long from Yarton looking for, I think that's Goo. In the end zone, and Roadkill 2 points away from taking this and attempting to head to, I think, the 7th place game. 7-8 game, yes.
Now looking to close out here, but it seems like Greenlight is not going anywhere. and their D-line has been on fire these last few points. So as long as they get a hold, they're always going to be in this game.
Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of pressure. You've seen both teams go away from the zones they showed earlier, opting to play person, and I think that's working in both of their favors. You see a lot tighter windows, teams aren't able to work it up the field as quickly as they can. However, that was Roadkill there just working the disc around and getting some open shots.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see what this Roadkill D-line can get done. Definitely Greenlight's O has found their groove. No Bozenta at this point, but we'll see how they fare. They have a couple other tall targets. Just Acton giving this back to Ramos, and now Minyeki. Minyeki going every other here. This Roadkill defense forcing a lot of lateral swings, not getting too much progress up the field. But Ramos will try to have something to say about that. Nice gainer there from number 97 Kwok. Them working it, Greenlight working it back over to the far side of the field. And Ramos just looking for a little too much, trying to lead Fox into the end zone, but just a bit too zippy for the receiver.
Very zippy, which makes it tough to catch. As much as it's on that high side, you still need to put some air on it.
So Roadkill D-line with a chance to break. They haven't had the disc here in a bit. A nice inside off the line to Davidovich. Big huck over here. And that's Acton batting the disc. However, Velusevic catching the disc in the end zone.
Always tough to see from a defensive standpoint. You get the D, it pops back up because of the wind. Reminds me of shades of Mark Lloyd in that Japan game from, 2016? Oh, man. You hate to see it.
Yeah.
Love you, Mark. That's my goat.
Yeah, I don't know if Mark's watching.
He's definitely watching on this Ultimate Canada live stream.
Did you send him a text?
I was texting him yesterday. Super cool guy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, and that was Beam with the nice huck to Velusevic. But he changed his hat. That's why I didn't recognize him. Putting a red hat on. You ever change your outfit mid-game, Brandon?
Yeah, sometimes it's honestly just for a mental refresh. Like, when, not me personally, but I heard this one guy, he was dropping the disc, and he's like, you know what? It's because I didn't have my other hat on. Made the change, and guy was a different player in the second half. So that mental reset.
Sounds like Ricky.
It wasn't Ricky. It was someone else on GOAT, though.
Okay, that does. Well, you know what? Look good, feel good, play good.
That's what they say.
All right, now Roadkill's D-line trying to put this game away. 14-10 is the score. Greenlight's got to get on the board. They can't make any more mistakes. Pull collected to Bochin. A bit of a slough look. But Greenlight managing, getting the disc over to Ha. Back now to Litsema. This Roadkill defense a little stifling. It looks like they're doing a little poach look. Now Bochin gaining yards, throwing to Christensen. Bozenta working it up very quickly back to Christensen. And it looks like an easy goal by Delorme.
Yeah, nice to see that they held even with that poach look. Like, usually poach looks stifle the offense, disrupt the flow, but that was not something that really deterred them on that.
Yeah, I do like to see that that Roadkill tried a different D set, and it did give Greenlight handlers some time, some struggle working through it, but able to get some inside flicks through. Now Roadkill with the chance to hold for the win. This would be very exciting for them. This is their first year at Masters Nationals, first year of existing as a Masters team. I'm not sure how many of them are going to cross over to the senior division in Edmonton, but I'm sure this is nice reps regardless.
Definitely good reps. If you're a Masters team anywhere in Canada, you got to go to Nationals. Get to see some of the best, see other people who you compete well with. Good games. Everyone's having a good time, and it's nice and competitive.
All right, centering the disc here to Lewis. Greenlight opting for a person set. Markham sending it to a favorite deep receiver and Lougheed, but that was Clack getting up and over to get the D. Got the D so hard that he's called an injury after. Jay Ramos coming on to now try to help Greenlight punch in the break, I mean. He didn't have to pick up the disc, but he chose to pick up the disc here. Nice inside to Kwok. Now Bozenta working it over quickly to Sobieszak. Back to Bozenta. Pick being called.
A little bit of coming together over there as they... Definitely a pick on the field. Someone was impeded.
All right, Greenlight. Chance to break to push this game to 14... 12? 14. Yeah, push the game to 14-12, make it a bit closer. Still got to look through their looks now. Chu looking around, but finding Kwok. Back over to Sobieszak. Bozenta finding Sobieszak up line. And a hammer tossed to the end zone. And that's a break. Greenlight not going away anytime soon.
That's definitely a trust shot there. Stall one hammer cross field. That was not on my bingo card for what he was going to throw there.
You know what? Him and Fox made the eye contact. He said, this is actually what I want to throw. Roadkill, I think, similar suspects walking over to the line. What's going on through the heads of Roadkill? That O-line just got broken. One miscue Huck on their set play. What do you do now on this offensive point?
Well, at this point, you kind of have two chances to hold before anything really happens. So you could either put out the same line or bet on that line getting broken and then bet on your best line to come out after. But that's kind of tougher with a lot of momentum if Greenlight were to break. As
There
Greenlight
might be a
takes a
timeout called. A heat timeout. Kat trying to explain this to us here, saying that
It's not for both teams.
okay. Honestly, it seems like the rules of the heat timeouts just get made up each round. So now they're saying they get a heat timeout because now the other team hit 12. But we didn't do that when the other team hit 4. So a little confused, but they're doing it to keep the players safe, and I think that's the first priority, right, Brandon?
Player safety always is important, always crucial, number one thing in basically every sport. You got to keep the athletes safe. Do what you can.
All right. Observer Glenn back out here after he got his nice Schweppes ginger ale. Schweppes Canada Dry, I don't really think it's much of a conversation for Canada Dry.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
if you say Schweppes, we are going to have words on this.
But I'm not a ginger ale purist where I'm like, I don't think I could taste the difference.
Really? I feel like that, like Pepsi versus Coke isn't.
Pepsi, yeah, I can taste Pepsi versus Coke.
But ginger ale for sure.
And Roadkill getting bailed out here. Pull going just out of bounds. I don't know if number 32 Greg Smith was there to field it just as they should have, but Lewis getting the disc around the brick mark. All right, Roadkill here in a vert stack. It looks like Greenlight is with a poacher look. You see two players there closer to the front of the stack. ISO not getting hit on the first one. Hitting the reset here in Smith. All right. McConnell getting the disc. Working it up the open side. That's Imhoff finding Smith up the line here. Great pressure there by Chu from the Greenlight. And just working it up the field. Steps outside the end zone. And it looks like a foul being called. Beam calling a push-off, or a number 11 might be calling the foul. Tang. Did you see what happened there, Brandon?
Well, I'm seeing the observer signal a pick, which is kind of interesting, but definitely something, a little bit of a kerfuffle down there. We'll see how it's resolved.
All right. Nonetheless, Gazda having the disc, steps outside the end, and let's see if Roadkill can organize themselves. Calling don't get broken lines, but that is Lewis just outside the end zone, being very conservative here. Imhoff working it all the way around. And inside flick to Beam. That's 15 for Roadkill. We are going to sign off very quickly here because we're going to see the conclusion to the other open quarterfinals. I'm Devon Asamoda.
I'm Brandon Adibe.
And see you tomorrow for all three finals in three divisions. You're going to have Brandon and Kim for the mixed final. We'll see who's there. You're going to have Devon and Kim for this women's final. That's going to be a lit time. You want to be there. And then you're going to have Brandon and Devon finishing you off with the open final. So stay tuned tomorrow. I think the game's done. Yeah, the game's done. Okay, bye, folks.
Love.